To start off the eye look, I'm going to be using Urban Decay Eyeshadow Primer Potion in Enigma, and it's just a matte base to help our eyeshadows stay longer. Since we're working with darker shades, I do recommend starting off with a transitional shade. I'm using MAC's Samoa Silk, and it's kind of like a yellowish, orangey shade, but I really like to use it as a transitional shade, so that's what I'm doing here. I think the key with a really dark smoky eye is starting off with a good transition, so make sure you blend. I'm going to take Makeup Geek Creme Brule, and this is just a bit darker than Samoa Silk, and I'm going to place that right underneath the Samoa Silk just to deepen up that crease and kind of also to contour the eye a little bit. The next shade I'm using is MAC's Swiss Chocolate, and I'm taking that on a MAC 224, and I'm just going to place that on the outer V. It's going to further contour my eye, and it's also going to just help the look come together, I feel. Now for the main color, I'm using MAC's Deep Blue Teal pigment, and I'm just going to wet my brush with some Fix Plus first, and then I'm just going to start applying this to my lid. I'm going to keep this relatively low. I'm not going to bring it up all the way to the crease. I'm just going to kind of meet it halfway. The easiest pigment to work with. It is one that you have to build up, so I do go back a couple of times and just keep adding and blending as I go. Between that, I'm using Swiss Chocolate just to buff that out, just so that there's no harsh or jaggedy edges. And we are applying some more. And I'm just using a Makeup Geek outer V brush or crease brush just to kind of help me blend that edge of the pigment. So now that I have the color on, I'm just going to go in with a black eyeshadow, and I'm going to start creating more depth and smokiness to the look. I'm just going to really concentrate this right on the outermost corner of my eye, and I'm still using that Makeup Geek crease brush. Now, I don't go too crazy with making this precise. I just know that I want to make that outer edge really dark. So I just build it up as I go. And once that's all done, I just take a makeup wipe and I swipe just to create that sharper edge. So that's why I don't worry too much about it. This is more like a nighttime look. I did add a little bit of this eyeshadow by NYX. It's called Smoke and Mirrors. I'm just going to place that right on the middle of the eye. And it kind of just like spotlights the whole look, just so that it brings more attention to the middle of the eye and it just makes your eyes pop. Foundation, I'm going to be mixing Urban Decay Naked Skin Foundation and Estee Lauder Double Wear Foundation, and I just kind of mix that on the back of my hand and I apply that with a little foundation brush. And I do that because I feel like it applies the foundation a lot more sheer. And then I take a stippling brush and I wet it with MAC Fix Plus, and it also thins out the foundation, just helps the foundation not look as dry on my skin. And then I just buff and stipple away. Concealer, I'm using the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer, and I think this is in Sand. I'm not too crazy about this concealer. I feel like the coverage isn't as good, but whatever, I'm just using it to highlight my face and also conceal. I'm going to blend that in with my Real Techniques contour brush, I believe. I don't know. It's an angled brush, and I really like it for concealing. For this day, I was feeling like I wanted a more bold brow, so I took my NYX Tame frame and I kind of just shaped my eyebrow. I kind of like outlined it with this and an angled brush, and the color is a little bit off. I think it's a little bit too light, but I do think that it define my eyebrow really nicely. After I did that, I just went in with my pencil, my Anastasia brow pencil. I believe this is in brunette, or it could be caramel. I just mix the two. I alternate between the two colors. And of course, I'm going to use my Benefit Highbrow highlighting pencil underneath my arch just to clean that up a little bit. I'm going to set my brows in place with the L'Oreal Brow Stylist Plumping Brow Gel or Mascara, either or. I'm going to go back to the eyes. I'm going to take this shadow called Chrome from the Lorac Pro Palette 2, and I'm going to use that as my inner corner highlight. And I'm just using a small, I think this is like a pencil brush, and I'm just going to put that right on the inner corners. I'm going to set my concealer using the Kat Von D Shade and Light palette and this tapered brush from Sigma. I'm just going to set everywhere that I put down that concealer. And now that I've set my eyes, I'm going to keep working on the bottom lash line. I'm using this L'Oreal pencil, and I'm just going to place that right on the lash line, and I'm just going to kind of smudge it out with a brush, with a little pencil brush. I also picked up a little bit of that pigment with the same brush, and I just kind of brushed it on and just really blending that lower lash line out. I don't want to go for a wing or anything, but I did want to put down some liner because I am going to be wearing lashes. So I'm just using the Kat Von D tattoo liner in Trooper. And then I'm just going to set my foundation with my good old Nars Crystal Light Reflecting Setting Powder and a big fluffy brush. Bronzer, I'm using Laura Mercier Bronze Blush in Ritual and my Sigma F40, and I'm just going to bronze away. For highlight, I'm using Becca's Opal. It is gorgeous. I can't stop using this. I'm using a little Target brush. It's actually a brush blush, but it works very nicely for highlighting. Okay, so I just used this all over my face. I also put it in the inner corners. I just wanted to brighten up the inner corners a little bit, so I just applied that there as well. For blush, I'm using Clinique's Blush Pop in Pansy Pop. It's kind of like a really pretty iridescent lilac shade, and I'm just using my Sonia Kashuk blush brush. For mascara, I'm using the CoverGirl, the Super Sizer Mascara, and I'm just going to add a generous coat because I am going to be using lashes, and I'm using the Ardell Demi Wispies. And for lips, you could totally do a nude, and I was initially going to do a nude, but this caught my eye in my collection. It's ColourPop's Lippie Stick in Brink. It's kind of like a really neutral pinky shade, but it's still color, and I really like that. So I applied that, and I also added a little bit of lip gloss. This is Sigma's Lip Vex in Hint, and it's kind of like a mauvey shade, and it just really makes your lips look really plump and luscious. And that's the completed look. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching and for subscribing and commenting and being here. I really, really appreciate it. I will catch you guys in the next video. Bye!